This is A Geek Leader. Hey guys, John Rada back again with episode 60 of A Geek Leader, and today I'm going to do a little solo show. This will be a shorter episode, kind of like a mini-sode, I guess you would say, or an in-between episode sort of podcast. This is one for, I had several people come back and say that they love the interviews that we're doing, but they still like some of the shorter shows that I used to do, where I gave like a small little nugget of information in a really short episode. So this is going to be one of those really short episodes. And I've got more interviews coming up, one tomorrow that'll be released. So there's several that are in the banks already that are ready to go. Just a little bit of touch up and intros and outros to be recorded. But this one is all about things that you can do to help manage your team and help lead your team in a way that's more productive and a little bit better than some of the approaches that we may have had in the past. And I actually got this piece of advice from a parenting course, and before you say, oh no, parenting tips and that's not going to work at work, I just want you to know that I use a lot of parenting tips that I picked up with employees at work, and they almost always seem to work. And part of that is because you're leading your kids the same way that you're going to be leading your team at work. And this one's called What's Your Plan For? So let me explain kind of how you might use this. Let's say you notice one of your team members slacking on a task, or maybe not slacking, but they're not getting things done at the rate that you would like them to, or you're not seeing this thing progress any further, or you think maybe they forgot about the task that you delegated to them. And there's a couple of approaches. And one of the things that I used to do when something like this would happen is I would either jump in and micromanage the heck out of this thing to get it done, or I'd pull it back and do it myself because I wanted to make sure it got done. Or I would, kind of push the employee maybe a little bit too hard in a negative way, saying, hey, look, you need to stop slacking on this and get this thing done, and kind of be kind of demeaning and get my point across. Those may work on actually getting the task completed. However, there's a long-term negative effect whenever you have those approaches. So let me explain. Let's say that you have a system deployment that's getting ready to go out, or you need it to go out, and you're not sure where this has happened or where we're at in the progress because you've delegated this off to your team member. That's one thing you really need to work on if you're a leader and you're not delegating, is delegation. But we'll talk about that in a different episode. So let's say you push this task out and you're not getting it done. It's not being moved forward the way you'd like. You could say stuff like, so how's the system going? And that sounds innocent enough, but the response will most likely be, oh, fine. Oh, good. It's going fine. And you're not going to get the progress or the information or the updates that you may want out of that approach. And you're going to feel kind of bad if you hit them up again or push them back again really quickly, or they're going to be very defensive and negative at that. So another approach could be that you just say, what's the status on this? I need this done. Or, hey, I don't feel like you're making forward. And you kind of start pushing and pushing and pushing. And a lot of times you get that negative pushback on that as well, or you get the person being very defensive. But let's say you go up to them instead, you say, so what's your plan for this new system deployment? And you ask it in a way of curiosity. You're not asking them in a negative, pushing back, hey, what are you doing with this thing? You're doing it more like, hey, what's your plan for this? And listen intently on the feedback. That's very important that you listen intently on the feedback that they give you. If there's not a plan, then this is the perfect time to sit down and come up with one together. Most likely there is. What I've found is that a lot of times the people have like a rough draft in their head of what they're going to be doing with this, even if they haven't written anything down, even if they haven't started on it. Or if they have started, maybe they'll pleasantly surprise you with, hey, here's what we're doing. But let's say that they have just a rough outline. Well, this is the perfect time to have that rough draft that's in their brain vetted and documented, and you can sit right there with them and accomplish this. This will help build a little bit of team camaraderie between you guys. It'll help show that you are interested in them being successful with this task, and it also gives you the information that you need and makes this a higher priority for them. I've also found that you can encourage the employee, and just let them know that, hey, this is really important. I know you can handle this. I know you're going to get it done. That's why I delegated it to you, and kind of leave the conversation at that note. And what that does is that lets them set this as a little bit higher priority. They want to do a good job with this. No one goes to work to do a bad job. People go to work because they want to do a good job. They want to be good at what they do. And just let them know that you believe that they can do this, and you know that they'll do good on this project, even if you have your doubts. Keep those doubts to yourself. Sometimes people just need a little bit of encouragement or a little jump start and a little map to point them in the right direction. And good leaders can do this without being demeaning, without putting down their employees. And this little tip of what you're planning for is very helpful in that approach. So I hope this has been helpful. And if so, please head over to iTunes and leave me a review. We'll have a full-length episode coming out tomorrow as well. So hopefully you'll enjoy this little bit of nugget of information, little things that I'm learning along the way, and hopefully they're helpful to you. Again, please go to iTunes, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, follow, subscribe, and leave me a review. That'd be helpful. Thanks so much.